What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Off the Schneid. Football season's here. It's arrived. A lot of injuries. Week one was pretty entertaining. Super entertaining end to the game. Not the greatest start to Monday Night Football, but a super entertaining finish to the week on the punt return. 4 touchdown to win the game. For the New York Jets. Obviously, that's big news. Aaron Rodgers is out. Zach Wilson's the guy. We'll see who they bring in. I think Carson Wentz might be a guy that you should look at bringing in. It doesn't seem like too many people have reached out to Wentz. Too many people have really talked to him. But we'll see. We'll see what Zach Wilson looks like if he gets out of this weekend with the Cowboys. Some injuries on the offensive line there. Injuries across the league. Realistically, a lot of hamstrings, a lot of soft tissue injuries out there, to be expected, I suppose. But I don't know. There's a lot going on. So a lot more recent, or a lot more going on now than in past years. It's just one of those things, right? So, it's. Soft tissue injuries usually don't creep up in the preseason and then kind of guys get through them, but we haven't seen guys get through them yet. So we'll see what happens, but we're going to dig into a few things here. If you have questions, pop them into the chat and we'll get to your questions. That's for sure. Jags are coming. Ridley is still him. Yeah, it was him still. Definitely look good. That's a guy that I had a bad read on early. I admit that. I admitted it at the time, but scrambled towards the end of best ball season to pick up as many more shares as I could. Because, Calvin Ridley's the guy in Jacksonville. Christian Kirk played a lot, but didn't get targeted a lot. Zay Jones played a little bit more. A lot of 3 wide receiver sets, which we expected out of that offense, but Calvin Ridley's absolutely a guy looking like a stud. If you see the bottom there, we'll get to a few things like I said, but if we get just 5 likes on this video while we're running live, certainly nothing crazy. We'll rip a quick battle royale live on the stream. So if you want to draft with me, hit that like button and we'll do a quick battle royale. Obviously if we get to, like I said, 5 likes, nothing crazy, nothing major. We're at 3 right now. I liked it myself, so chances are pretty good we'll get a battle royale going. But a couple things I wanted to get to. Want to talk about a few things. DraftKings strategy, a couple plays that I like for this weekend in DraftKings. Underdog battle royale. We're going to talk through that a little bit before we get to that, because like I said, we'll probably end up getting a draft going. Talk about some pick'em plays that I like as well. So let's dig into that. Let's jump right into it. Like I said, if you have questions, shoot them into the chat. I'll jump right in and answer it kind of as we go. And then we'll just talk through them that way. Hit that like button again. Like I said, we get to 5 likes, we'll get there. So let's pull some stuff up here. Let's pull it up. Okay. Obviously I'm looking at some injury report stuff. Let's talk through. Let's go to DraftKings first and foremost. Okay. Jumping on DraftKings, let's take a look at some plays that I like. Plays you might like. Just on the main slate, that's all we're going to get into. The main Sunday slate is what we're talking about here. All right, let's jump into this. Okay. So we got to target some games. We got to target some stacks. We all know how to play. We all know how to play DFS. I'm not going to go through. This isn't super basic. These are just going to be plays that I like. So there's I had a couple strategies kind of pinpointed for this weekend on what I want to do. I do like the Detroit-Seattle game. I think everyone will. I think a lot of people will like the Detroit-Seattle game. Um, Something that worries me as we get closer to that game, we'll have to see, but it looks like the Seahawks are going to be down both their tackles, which is really going to hurt that offensive line. It's really going to hurt the running game. It's going to hurt the passing game. I think Detroit's definitely going to handily win this game is how I'm feeling about it now. If those tackles are out, Hutchinson's going to get after Geno Smith. James Houston can definitely get after the quarterback. So it's, and then we could see David Montgomery run the ball a ton. So that's definitely a look that we could go after. One that I think might be a little bit kind of underutilized and exposed, if you will. Let's make this a little bigger. Here we go. One game that I think will be a little underexposed is there we go. Good sizing. Okay. Yeah, one game that I think might be a little underexposed would be the Chargers versus the Tennessee Titans. And typically I wouldn't really target quarterback pass catcher with a running back, but obviously with the Tennessee Titans, the focal point in that offense is Derrick Henry. The Chargers run defense is very suspect. So that's a place that I'm looking at. And then the pass defense for the Titans, the corners have always been suspect. The run defense for the Titans, very, very good. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm going to pull up. Let's go with Derrick Henry. Good price on him too, 7,400. Certainly a good price. I like that. That might be a chalky play a little bit for Derrick Henry realistically, but I'm not too worried about it because I think I'm going to get unique at other places. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. So Derrick Henry, obviously we're building out that stack. Justin Herbert. And then I'm going to go with not the most expensive wide receiver on this team and a guy that can get in the end zone multiple times. And that's kind of what you're looking for is obviously touchdowns. And I think that this guy's got absolute touchdown upside, 31st against the opposing defense as far as wide receivers. That goes back to last season as well. They've been bad for quite a while in the secondary. So I'm going to go with Mike Williams. Like I said, he can get in the end zone multiple times and get you 100 yards as well. So he could hit those bonuses and, like I said, get in the end zone a couple times. That's the game stack that I'm kind of looking at, and that's what I'm looking at right there is the game stack. So start with that. Then what I typically like to do is get the kind of onesie, if you will, positions out of the way, defense and tight end, just to get them out of the way, get the average remaining, get when I'm initially building my lineups. And then I just like to know where I'm at and what I have left and what my averages are. So let's look at the defense first. 49ers, I'm not so sure they should be priced quite this high. I think the Cowboys should probably be the number one, priced defense, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. I don't typically look that high when I'm building out or looking for defenses. When I'm building out a lineup, I don't spend money on defense. I really, really do not. Basically you're looking for 10 points. So I instantly just scroll to the bottom and then kind of work my way up from the literal bottom and see, which matchups make sense, where I think can pick off a cheap defense that'll get me, like I said, double digits is all I'm looking for. The initial 10 points that they start with, if they finish with 10 points, great. That's all I'm looking for. So Raiders against Buffalo, not doing it. I think Josh Allen goes a little bit nuts against the Raiders. So I'm certainly not taking Las Vegas, especially on the road, traveling, to the other end of the country. The Rams against the 49ers, not going to happen. They had a good week last week, but I'm not, that's certainly not where I'm going against a high-powered offense. Titans, I'm obviously not stacking it with my game stack, right? That's just not going to happen. I hope that Derrick Henry has 4 touchdowns or something crazy. So not touching the Titans. Jags against KC kind of goes without saying. Cardinals, I think, is one of the worst defenses in the NFL. So where does that go? The New York Jets. To me, this is extremely mispriced. If you ask me, they had 20 points. Oh man, this is all messed up because I zoomed in. 20 points last week. Obviously, huge game with the defense and special teams with the punt return touchdown to end the game there. But the Cowboys, it's not like the Cowboys put up 40 points of offense. That's not what happened at all, right? So I'm not too concerned about the Jets defense, especially going against, the Cowboys where they have a bit of a banged up offensive line. Tyron Smith practiced fully today. He should be fine. But Tyler Smith, the inside guard, missed practice today. We'll see how that goes. But if they're a little weak in the interior, Quinnen Williams is going to take advantage of that. So I'm going with the Jets. I'll take that cheap, like I said, mispriced defense. And again, with the special teams touchdown that they had last week, I like that option as well. I'm not expecting it, but that's where I'm going there. So like I said, I typically look at the cheaper places, defense and special teams, get them out of the way. And there's a couple spots I can look here. There's Sam Laporta against Seattle. They're typically not a good defense against tight ends. Gerald Everett could be an option there, double stack with Herbert, but that's not what I'm doing. Where I'm looking, and as long as he plays, questionable right now. I think he practiced limited, but non-participant, hamstring/rest. I'm not concerned with Darren Waller not playing. And it's only a matter of time, in my opinion, before he kind of breaks out. I am concerned. I'm very concerned about the left tackle position for the Giants coming into this game. They might not even have a left tackle. If Andrew Thomas doesn't play, Matt Pert is pretty much definitely not playing. So they might not have a left tackle pretty much literally at all. So that's going to be kind of tough to overcome. Luckily, it is against the Cardinals, and their defense is terrible. Being so highly priced, if you can call it that, at 5,500, the third highest priced tight end, I like Darren Waller. So that's where I'm going there. Again, I think it's only a matter of time, and you're only looking for 10 to 15 points out of your tight end spot. You're not relying on your tight end for 20, 30 points. It's just not where you're really looking. So that's where I'm going there. So we're getting there. We're building it out, remaining 5,400 average. So we got to save some money somewhere. Like I said, we got to save some money. I love it. I loved the game earlier, I was saying, but I think that it's going to be way overexposed. I think a lot of people are going to be on this game, and that's the Seattle Seahawks coming into Detroit. So last year, not anytime, but a lot of times where we saw guys get concussions, almost always they sat out the next week. And Tyler Lockett got a pretty bad looking concussion last week. He didn't practice today. I think there's a very, very high possibility that he doesn't play this week. So I think that opens the door for a cheap Jackson Smith-Njigba, who's should be, even more recovered. He played last week, so that's great, but should be more recovered from that wrist surgery. So, and then it auto-corrects my spelling. No, Jax, I do mean. So that's where I'm going. It's a high game total. I like it. That's where I'm going. It's cheap. I'm going to save some money, ups my average player, or average remaining. So that's where I'm looking, is a guy like Jackson Smith-Njigba. Another spot that I'm looking, Deebo Samuel against the Rams. He's always had good luck against the Rams. It was Brandon Ayuk's game last week. You hit Deebo Samuel on a slant and he catches that thing clean. He's gone to the crib. Touchdown, end of story. So he had a decent week last week, double-digit points, but he just needs to get in the end zone. That's really all that is. And, if Tariq Woolen is on Ayuk, I'm going to take this price, 5,600 for Deebo Samuel, who last season and the season before where he really blew up, we saw him get up to, the 8,000 range, high 70, high sevens, definitely high sixes, right? So this is a bit of a discount, if you ask me, at 5,600. So there we go. I'm going with Deebo Samuel a little bit. I love the price there. I like the price on basically all of my wide receivers here, especially the you know the opportunity that I think all these guys have, especially at their price, especially with the games that they're playing, all on the road. I don't know. That's what I like. I'm happy with it. That's where I'm going. Obviously, we got to fill this out. There's other. Sorry, we'll just get right into it. I am concerned about this next play, Dameon Pierce against Houston. I am concerned about this with the offensive line for Houston. Titus Howard is out. They're down to a 6th round rookie center with Scott Quisenberry and Juice Scruggs both out. So I gotta keep an eye on I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on the practice schedule for the Houston Texans on this one, but I like the Dameon Pierce play here. Jacksonville had good luck last week against Indianapolis. It's at home, but we're gonna have to keep an eye on the practice schedule for Dameon Pierce, and the offensive line is more what I'm getting at here, obviously. So, what we got left, 6K. This leaves a perfect player for me, in my opinion. I'm going with Chris Godwin against the Bears. Kyler Gordon might not play in this game. I don't think he practiced today. Chris Godwin gets a lot out of the slot. Kyler Gordon was their nickel corner. If he's not playing, they're going to be a little lighter. Mike Evans gets, his attention on the outside. Tight ends get their attention. Running backs get attention. So, he could certainly double what he did last week, double digits again. He's a high target guy. I like Chris Godwin. So a lineup like this is probably something that I'm going to look to do. I just think it makes tons of sense. I got a little bit of game stack action. Another guy that you can look to fit in if it makes sense financially for your 50K budget for your build, right? Is let's bring it up here. Is Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman, I think, is a guy that you could, if you can stack him with a guy like Dameon Pierce. Again, it kind of hinges on the offensive line for the Texans. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'll probably fire this in or something like this. This is just kind of what I initially built when I looked at the slate. Some of these prices make tons of sense. I don't think Jackson Smith and Jigba will have a high ownership percentage, should be sub 10%. Potentially Dameon Pierce as well, Mike Williams as well. I think Keenan Allen will be the guy to own this week, or people will think that anyways. Chris Godwin, I think people just think he has too low of a ceiling, but he's got that high floor. So I like this. This is kind of what I'm looking at, something along these lines. There's obviously some other plays, but let's move on to some underdog action. Let's move on to some pick'em plays for this week. All right. Just want to pull up my picture. I feel like the lines have changed a little bit. I took a look last night on what I liked and what I didn't like. Well, just more what I liked, obviously, but so maybe they've changed, maybe they haven't. The 100K Sunday, 10 people get 10K. If I think it's chosen randomly, you don't have to win your bet on the Tua total yards, which is interesting. Total yards, not passing yards, but I don't think anyone here, realistically thinks that Tua is going to run around too much. So it's total yards, but realistically, I think it's passing yards. I probably will hit this. I'm going to throw my name in the hat. You only get one entry. You only have to bet it once and you get one entry. I'm going to fire one in on this, maybe with, a full slate, maybe just 2 or 3 picks. Because again, you don't have to win your bet. You just have to fire in a bet on Tua. Am I going higher or lower? The answer for me, I'm hitting the lower on this one. So that's what I'm going to try. Like I said, you don't have to win your bet to qualify and to have a shot at 10K. That'd be pretty sweet. Great idea. Underdog's always doing stuff. I love to see it. But that's the way I'm going if you like it. We obviously got the free square this week with Tyreek. I wonder if you can do both. No, you can't. That makes sense. Free square with Tyreek. So if you're putting in multiple bets, you can fire in the Tua, entry into the 100K Sunday, and then get yourself a free square with Tyreek Hill. But let's get into the plays that I like, and let's see if the lines have changed at all since I took a look. Going off my DFS, the DraftKings plays that I had there, Deebo Samuel, it has gone up. That's annoying. So last night I had it at 50.5 receiving yards. It's gone up to 53.5. Kind of a pain in the ass. That kind of sucks. I expected it. I thought that was low, and here we are. Clearly other bettors have too, because it works a lot like a line. As people bet the higher or the lower, the line that Underdog sets is going to change throughout the week. It's the same as any line in betting. As it gets bet on, it fluctuates, right? So I kind of expected that. But Deebo Samuel over 53.5 receiving yards. Like I said, I like that. I think this could be a Deebo Samuel game. Last week was a Brandon Ayuk game. Deebo's always kind of lit up the LA Rams. It's in LA. Yeah, he could take one slant to the house for all of these yards on literally one play. This could be one play for Deebo Samuel. Hopefully that play isn't, a sweep, an end around, something like that, where, it's a running play. That would really kind of kick me in the nuts, but it is what it is. That's a play that I like. I'm looking at that. It sucks that it went up 3 full yards, but I still like it, as long as it doesn't get up to the 60s. That's where I'd probably draw the line. If it's 59.5, I think that's a good line, and I would have to think about it a little bit. Next one we got, same game. Matt Stafford, this hasn't changed, so I would absolutely be smashing this. 228.5 yards, passing yards for Matt Stafford. He crushed this by over 100 yards last week. I think it's pretty obvious that the Rams don't want to run the ball a ton, not even just after week 1, but look through their history even last year, right? They're not a high running team. They're just not. They never want to be. That's not how Sean McVay has built the offense. That's not what Matt Stafford wants to do. And with this, San Francisco 49er defense, they're not going to allow you to run the ball anyways. They are literally the best team last year. They were literally the best team in the league against the run. So it doesn't make a lick of sense for them to run the ball against the 49ers. Just put Matt Stafford in the shotgun, catch the ball, 2-step drop, fire the ball on a slant to Puka, Tutu Atwell, something like that. That's where I'm going. It's I think that this line is super juicy. Doesn't really particularly make sense to me, honestly. So I'm hammering this one unless it gets up to like, I don't know, 279 or something like that. So I'll be taking that one. That's for sure. Next one I got here. This one's kind of fringe for me, to be honest. It's already a little fringe right this second, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, depending on if it's gone up. But it's T. Higgins. It hasn't gone up. 59.5. It's right there, actually. I might have to reassess this one. Don't take this one to the bank. I like the Matt Stafford 100%. Take that one to the bank. Definitely the one that I'm going to be hammering. Deebo Samuel, it could get to the suspect range. It's okay right now, in my opinion. This one's right there on the fringe, but T. Higgins had eight targets last week, 0 catches. I think, obviously, I'm a massive Bengals fan. I assume and hope that they get it figured out. Marlon Humphreys is not practicing still, and I highly doubt he plays. I think that if the Texans were a little more dangerous through the air, Stroud looked pretty good as a rookie in his first game against a very good defense other than the secondary. Sure, it was was it in Houston? Oh, I can't remember now. But either way, he had a good game against a tough defense other than the secondary. They know these teams know each other very, very well, but I think T. Higgins can get there. I'm okay with this. His ADOT was actually pretty deep as well. I think it was, I can't remember. I looked yesterday. I think it was maybe 14 yards, something like that as an ADOT. So I like that. Give me the 60 yards plus. Like I said, if this gets a little higher, it's already relatively fringe. If this gets into the 60s, I like the Debo play even at 53.5 over the T. Higgins at 59.5. I'll say that. So there's that one. That's another play I'm not hammering, but I like. And again, going back to the DFS talk with the DraftKings talk there, we got Dameon Pierce. This has not moved. I like to see that. 56.5 yards. Again, we got to keep an eye on the practice schedule for the offensive line with the Texans. This, the up the middle where Dameon Pierce is going to get his yards, catch the ball, run straight, is going to be a little light with, them down to their third string, 6th round rookie center. And Titus Howard is out, right? They're already pretty banged up on that offensive line. And that's got me pretty nervous. We'll see what the practice schedule looks like. So again, I'm not going to hammer this one quite yet. I looked at these before the practice schedules came out or participations came out. So I didn't really know what the offensive line was looking like as far as, who was in, who was out. But if it gets worse, I'm going to pull this off my slate altogether. If it improves, I'll hammer the Dameon Pierce 56.5 rushing yards. I kind of like it anyways, because I'm not a big fan of the Indianapolis defense this year. But it's something to just keep an eye on before you smash the bet. Last one we got. Justin Fields. This went up only by a yard. 175.5. It was 174.5 yesterday. So I like this for sure. Few reasons why. Number one, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a very, very, very good team against the run. So I don't think they're going to have much help or much choice. Sorry. I don't think the Bears are going to have much choice but to throw the ball. I think they're going to have to. I also think that they want to. I think that they want Justin Fields to sit in the pocket a little more and throw the ball, make a decision, plant his foot, and throw the ball. So they need to see it a little bit more. Last week, I think he let them down a little bit in that regard. He smashed this by about 50 yards in last week's game. They were a little bit out of it, but on the road, the secondary is pretty weak for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but the defensive line is fantastic. It's going to be tough to run the ball. Give me Justin Fields in the overpassing yards, 176 yards. So there you go. That's what I like. That's what I'm looking at for Pick'em slate. Obviously, it might change a little bit. They don't have everybody out yet. They don't have, numbers for every single player yet. They didn't even have rushing yards yesterday for Justin Fields. So more and more information will come out, and I'll take another look towards the end of the week. But these are the 5. Yeah, these are the 5 that I'm looking at right now, especially these top 2, Deebo Samuel and Matt Stafford, and then Justin Fields as well. These 2 in the middle. If T. Higgins, if his number goes up, I'm probably not going to click that. If it goes into the 60s, I probably won't be clicking that. And then keep an eye on the Texans offensive line on this one. So there you go. There's a little bit of pick'em talk. Roman's got a question in the chat. Choose 2. Montgomery, Madison, Sanders. Montgomery for sure. No question whatsoever. I think this game can get out of hand. And then I think they're going to run the ball to just basically, ice the game, finish it out. And I think Montgomery's going to be that guy. So definitely David Montgomery. I'm pretty much completely off Alexander Madison this weekend. Where are we here? Oh my goodness. Where are the Vikings? Oh, Thursday night. Geez. I can't watch the game, so I kind of forgot about it. Thursday night against Philly. I think that it's going to be even tougher sledding for them to run the ball. And they've already literally told us that they're not going to run the ball a ton. They let go Dalvin Cook. He didn't run the ball a ton last season, not as much as in previous seasons, obviously with the defensive coach in Zimmer beforehand. But, realistically, that we've seen that they don't want to run the ball a ton. They've basically literally told us that. Plus, that defense is very, very, very stout. So basically, I'm going anyone but Madison. Montgomery's a smash, no problem. Madison, I'm absolutely putting on my bench. And then I don't love the Miles Sanders start against the Saints, but at home, I'll take Miles Sanders over Alexander Madison this week, no question about it. So for me, David Montgomery and Miles Sanders, those would be the two that I'd be starting there, Roman. So there you go. Now let's get into a little bit of Battle Royale talk. So obviously hopefully we've all played this. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but no problem, Roman. Anytime. Happy to help. Basically, you got to stack something. You have to have a game stack. That's just right out the gate. You have to have a game stack. I'm not saying you have to have a quarterback with a pass catcher and a bring back. You don't have to have that much. You really don't. You just need a quarterback and his pass catcher, or two pass catchers in the same game, or a pass catching type running back like an Eckler, Bijan, Christian McCaffrey, and then another pass catcher in a game stack. So you just need to choose a game. Realistically, it's only 6 picks. It's only 6 players, 6 positions, 1 quarterback, 1 running back, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and a flex. Your flex can obviously be running back or wide receiver. So let's talk about the games that we want to focus on here. What's going to be chalk? What's going to be, unique? And let's kind of dig through it here. So I think this San Francisco LA Rams game should probably be relatively chalk. Doesn't mean you can't take a Debo out of this, or even Brandon Ayuk. If you feel really froggy and you want to take Puka Nacua or Tutu Atwell, be my guest. I probably won't be picking Puka or Tutu, if I'm being honest with you. This Buffalo versus Raiders game should be relatively chalk. Basically, anyone, if you can get, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, then you're probably ahead of the game. I'm wondering, I haven't done any yet, so I'm wondering if that's really something that's doable. What else? The Seattle versus Detroit game, that should be relatively chalk. That's probably all that'll be chalky that you might want to avoid, right? So there you go. Let's check the how many likes we got. Do we get 5 likes on the stream? Confident we did. But let's check it out. We're at 4 likes. We're at 4 likes, guys. Someone didn't hit that like button. That's not very nice. But we're going to jump into one anyways. All right, we're in one. Five likes. Okay, I guess there is. Maybe I can't see everything. So we got 5 likes. Let's go. We're doing a battle royale. If you want to jump in, 4 waiting, tons of room, tons of space. If you're watching live, you want to draft, let's get one going. These do take a while to fill, considering all the injuries, all the hammies, left, right, and center. If you got any start sit questions, fire it in the chat. I'm more than happy to jump in and let you know what I think. If you want to draft, jump in. Waiting on 3. Should be a good week of games. Let's kind of talk through it. Obviously, for me, Baltimore Cincy is a big one. Pretty much not necessarily a must win for my Bengals, but it's pretty important to get that win at home. Really hurts to go 0-2. Really, really hurts. Obviously, your chances of making the playoffs and especially of winning the division, but they did it last year, so it's not impossible. It's just really, really more difficult, and it's a division game, rivalry game. My Bengals got to go out there and get this win. Joe Burrow just doesn't really look completely healthy, if I'm being honest with you. I think I'm really concerned about what happened with Aaron Rodgers for what's going on with Joe Burrow. Similar injury in the preseason, so it's going to be. As long as Joe Burrow's okay, we'll be okay. But he's got to be healthy. He's got to be healthy. So we're in the 2-hole. Like I said, I haven't done any yet, so I don't know where I'm going to be looking. Christian McCaffrey should go with the 101, I would think, for sure. If not, that's kind of silly, but we'll see. Do I want to go with Jamar Chase? That's not a bad pick. I probably wouldn't. Honestly, I probably wouldn't bring it back with Joe Burrow if I go with Jamar Chase. I love Amon Ra here. Stephon Diggs is good. Saquon Barkley. Yeah. Six teams, 6 spots. I'm kind of just winging this, to be honest. Not kind of. I'm like literally winging this. I haven't done any. I haven't looked at the rankings. I've just been looking at the games and where I think it makes sense. I'll take Christian McCaffrey, no question. That's easy click for me. I do like the thought of going 2 RBs in these. I think that's what won it last week was I think it was Christian McCaffrey and Bijan, I believe. I'm coming around to that. That's for sure. It's not a full point PPR. If it was full point, that changes things, but still only half point. Those running backs that get the yards and then kick in a couple catches here and there, get in the end zone. That's more valuable to me. If I'm the 5-hole here, I'm almost certainly taking, Kelsey Mahomes makes sense. I'm taking Josh Allen to back it up. That's pretty easy click there. Yeah, makes sense. Tony Pollard against the Jets. Not really excited about that, to be honest. I like Saquon and Bijan here. I'll take one of those. Eckler, I'm sure will play. His agent passed away, is why he missed practice today. Sorry to hear that. But I'm sure he'll still play in the game this week. Etienne. Do I want to go Bijan or Derrick Henry? I think that this Packers game will be more competitive than the Carolina Panthers were. And I was just talking about how much I like the 2 running back types of builds. Let's do that. And that's what won last week. Sure. Why not? Let's take a shot. And then where do I want to go? I don't like the idea of taking tight end quite yet. Like I said, I'm kind of just freestyling this. Let's go with Herbert. And yeah, I'm going to take the quarterback first because I can always bring it back with Mike Williams if if Keenan Allen gets taken on me, that's not the end of the world. I have options. And then even, Gerald Everett, I can bring in at tight end if both those wide receivers go for whatever reason. So don't mind that. I think he's got to bounce back. I don't think, Kellen Moore is going to be too happy with, a loss like that. The defense has got to show up, but it is what it is. Where do we want to go here? Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, I think, are fantastic picks in this, especially this week. Looks like I might get lucky with Keenan Allen. We'll see. Maybe he'll still get sniped on me. No, that'll get lucky. I'll take Keenan Allen. I like him to bounce back. Hopefully he gets in the end zone. I shouldn't say bounce back. 9 targets, 6 catches, 76 yards. All he's got to do is get in the end zone and you're laughing. So hopefully he does that this week. Got kind of a stack there. Do I have to bring it back? No, I don't. I don't have to bring it back with Nuke or, Treylon Burks. I don't have to bring it back at all. And I may or may not. We'll see what happens. It's an option, but not a must. 2 more picks. Obviously got to go wide receiver, tight end. That's just who I have to take. Where am I looking here? Do I want to take another Charger? No, I don't. I'm going to take Michael Pittman. I think, again, he's another guy that I had on the list for potential guys for the DFS. 11 targets, 8 catches, almost 100 yards. Got in the end zone. I like it. So then all I need is a tight end. Let's go. I like this team. I like this build. Coming in just blind, not knowing what I was going to do. I don't mind this. Again, if you're in the chat, if you have any start sit type questions, let me know. And we'll blow through that. Otherwise, we're pretty much wrapped up for the night. Just want to go through a few things with you guys. I will be doing this every Wednesday. Something like this. Maybe not all of these, touching on all these things. All the DFS pick'ems. Hopefully we get a little more start sit stuff. That's more what it's geared toward, to help people out for their season-long teams. But whatever the people want is what the people get. Now, do I go Evan Ingram or do I take who I want to take and go Dalton Kincaid? I'm going to go Dalton Kincaid. That's for sure. Boom. Good looking team. I like it. I'm happy with it. So we went Christian McCaffrey, Bijan Robinson, Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Michael Pittman, Dalton Kincaid. Everyone should be healthy, should be fine. There's no one's popping up on the injury report, which is good. You can do swaps, but it's literally just the next ranked player, which doesn't always work out, obviously. So I like knowing who I have in my lineup. But I like this team. Maybe it'll have a shot. We'll see. Get my money back. That'd be good. Take it from there. So there you go. Did some pick'em stuff. Did some DFS stuff. Did a draft. Hope everybody had fun. Hit that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button for me if you don't mind on your way out. Like I said, we'll be doing this every Wednesday. So come back if you got start sit questions, if you got issues you need a hand with, trade questions, whatever it is, let me know. We'll jump into it. I'll get you an answer. Like I said, We'll be back next week and every week thereafter with Off the Schneid. Like I always say, if you're afraid to be wrong, you will never be right. Hopefully tonight in the Battle Royale, we were right. And we'll see you guys next week.